thought I'd have a little tour of the interior of the car. Strangely, the radio's on, even though the ignition's off, which is probably not what it's meant to do. Some stations work. Let's have a bit of heated seats. Also, the instrument cluster, still not happy. A while ago, the ABS light was off, and I was quite pleased with myself because I thought I'd fixed something when, well, without having to actually lift a spanner. But that is not the case, sadly. The reason I want to drive it around is so I can watch what the speedo does, see if it actually registers. Oh, we've got some fans. You can hear some nasty noises. That prop, I think it's just misfires. Speedo actually seems to be trying to give sensible numbers. I'm going to stop filming now and poon it around a bit. The ABS light has gone off, so that's good. Time to show the car a little bit more love. I've not washed it. The guy I got it off never washed it, and not only most of the leaves have actually blown off it now because we've had some quite strong winds, but yeah, plenty of green slime. Nice. So I'm going to get the power washer out. Oh, that's a good bit. And give it a clean. There's also loads of leaves and stuff stuck in the tailgate. Well, not tailgate, boot. Because this whole area was parked up against a bush, which hasn't done it any favours really. So I need to get rid of all of that. I also plan on working on this car underneath, and I'd rather get as much of the underside clean as I can at this stage. So out with a power washer, and I'll give it a good scrub. Well, that's a bit better. It's even better because it's now night time, so you can't see all the dents and scratches that my cleaning has now exposed. Yeah, pretty good. The other benefit of it being night time is I can now go back and see more clearly what does or does not light up on the digidash. So I will attempt to find the keys. Found them. I have now found the keys, and incidentally, whilst we're talking about keys, it's got the original, where is it? Let's get some light. Goldsmith Alcorn Limited, Heathfield and Uckfield, which matches the front and rear number plates, which is nice. Nice to have. Just shows that although I don't have any history, there's a bit of history still bolted to the car. Right, now we'll do the ignition on and see what happens again. So a lot of missing cells, a lot of missing backlighting, and no info coming from the cooling system. Batteries looking a bit funny. There's no red F of death, which I've been reading about on the internet. Yeah, Taco really isn't happy. But they're all things to shake out in the wash. The ABS light's gone off again, so yeah, if we do get around to MOTing it, that's a bonus. I have got myself a replacement digidash, so that's a big thanks to Chris, the membership secretary of Autobarn Stormers. But before I fit it, I just want to remind myself what this one was doing. So the battery's connected. I'm just going to turn it on and see what the self-check does. Oh, no. So it really doesn't do anything, which is curious. You can just about see an if appearing on the cluster up there. But it's really dead as a doornail, or doorpost, whatever you want to call it. Right, embarrassing and yet quite lucky observation. I didn't realise, but there's a dash dimmer here. So once this is turned up full, you can see a lot more of what is going on, or not going on. That is even more interesting. I just wiggled that switch and suddenly it all got brighter, or the characters got brighter. I'm wondering if we haven't got a loose connection on this one anyway. But certainly there's some of the cells just don't work. Fuel, they're all kind of flicking over the place. The odometer is really not happy. Buttons don't seem to be making it do anything else, and it's flashing, which I'm told means it's not happy again. Anyway, we shall play. Another pitiful rainy day in paradise. I'm playing with dashboards again. I've got myself another one. This will be dashboard number 3, and we're going to see what happens. Right, just swapped another cluster over, and it is an improvement, but we still have knackered cells, or current not getting to the right cells. I'm going to switch it off again and watch it do the self-check. So everything when I crack the ignition should come on and then go off again. So you can see missing part of the speed. It should say 288. That isn't behaving itself. Rev counter. Quite a few of them are missing. Got a lot more over on the right hand side than I did. But it's a bust. But anyway, what this tells me is that I'm now going to take apart my original one, because I might as well try and fix it before I go shopping for another one. I've been taking this cluster apart. This is the one that I originally took out of the car. It has special anti-tamper bolts with 3 indentations on them, and I didn't have a tool for that. So I've just used a Dremel with a cutting disc on it to chop heads, chop lines in the heads so I could undo them with the screwdriver. They were getting pretty hot and melting the plastic, so I was shooting brake cleaner on them to cool them down. But now I should be able to pull this apart and see what's inside. Straight away, I think I've found how the screen is powered. So these are all the connections coming from the different circuit boards going onto the display. So because I'm not an electrical expert and I know absolutely nothing about these, all I can really do is clean those connections. I presume they just pull and push on, but I don't know yet. They might be heat bonded on, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to have a bit more of a play and see what I can do. Annoyingly, that whole display is held in with yet more of those. I don't really want to have to do any more chopping in here for fear that I'm going to damage something. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So that's what it looks like inside. Got some kind of ribbon connection there, which looks a bit shitty, but sorry, there looks a bit shitty. There is that board there which plugs onto the screen, and that's the bit I'm really most interested in, because I know that those, if they don't make a good connection, will be messing this up. And because that's receiving signals, it's just not displaying them. That's the bit I'm thinking we might have a problem. So I'm going to again see if I can clean up some of this and see what happens. I've just undone all the screws along the bottom, including that one, which has anti-tamper resin on it. And as I'm lifting this, it's pulling off there quite neatly, so I'm just going to lever it off and then give it a good clean and put it back together again. I can't quite remember where I got to filming all of this. Basically, I did get that out. I pulled those, well, I don't really know what you call them, those fittings off the bottom. Then I just used brake cleaner and a piece of rag to clean up all of those. And then before I clipped it all back together, I went along with a screwdriver and just closed up the little metal clips that are in each of them so they make a better contact with that board. Now I'm going to put it all back together again, shove it in the car, see what happens. Okay, again, a real world test. I haven't done anything other than refit the instrument cluster. Sitting in the dark, in the rain, I'm going to turn the key and hopefully we'll have some improvements. Oh my fucking lord. I cannot believe that that has worked. Fuck me. I am a genius. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you go about fixing your instrument cluster. Obviously we've still got something funny going on with the trip computer, but it's not the display. Well, it is. There's a couple of characters there that aren't too happy. So what that means, I don't know. That's quite annoying. Yeah, that button doesn't apparently do anything either. Yes, we've still got some issues with that, but the important things like revs, speedo are good. What's the gear selector doing? Gear selector's doing absolutely sweet FA. Oh, there's 1, 2 isn't working, 3, part neutral. Meh, don't really care about that. Right, I am a happy bunny. Dimming works too as well, sort of, so yeah. I'm calling that a result. Whether anyone else will, I don't know. What I might do is actually go back and do the same repair on the other instrument cluster, the slightly better one, and then see how that one performs before I write this off as being all completely done. But there you go, how you can moderately improve your instrument cluster. Good night.